Hello, everyone. Compliments of the new week to you, wherever you're watching from. I bring you greetings from my end to your end, and I say thank you for joining. It's another week that we are expecting to be productive, time full of hope for the future, and looking forward to um, the right results that would emanate from applying the right tactics to what we do, how we do them, and why we do them. Reason has a way of impacting, you know, um, reason has a way of impacting result. And I want to let you know that result comes from action, and action is always propelled by reason. And so it also depends on the kind of action and the reason why you are involved in that action. And these are the factors. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. I hope the network will be stable today. I'm beginning to see some dwindling. I want to welcome you to the live broadcast today. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and of course, my sister here is already here. My sister Ego, good to have you. Thank you so much for being here as always, and of course, standing, with us, standing together. We're standing together on the path of truth, and always standing here to support the broadcast and to make sure that the right thing is always spoken and defended. I want to appreciate you, my sister and my colleague, my comrade in the Accountability and Transparency Group, and also everyone who is part of the Accountability and Transparency Group. I'm talking about everyone who is standing on the path of truth, who is actually, part of Accountability and Transparency Group, the group outlets that have decided to do the wrong things, go into rebellion, and to claim to be on the path of truth. You can't be a rebel and say you're on the path of truth. Because we think that we can just what we do, but we have forgotten that there's a particular narrative to everything that we do, and that is the spiritual side of it. And the spiritual details, we are spiritual. You can imagine human operations. You can imagine the universe and everything, and you see everything happening automatically. The sound comes, everything, that is happening. When you understand this, then you know how to deal with matters. To understand that if the earth can produce, the earth, if the ground absorb the human, the ground can absorb water, can produce water, the ground can cause decomposition to dead ground, can be produced. Can produce environment. There's something spiritual about our existence. There's something very spiritual about how we operate, and there's something very spiritual about every action we take. So there's no way we can separate this. Everything in life has to do with spiritual side, natural behavior, natural activities, and all of that. These are sprouting from spiritual and all of that. I want to welcome you to this broadcast today. Let me not go deeply into philosophical teachings and all of that. I want to go straight to today's discussion. We're talking about the characteristics of false freedom fighters. Characteristics, that means the features. We're talking about features, so the behavior or the attributes of fake and false freedom fighters. I use the word false because we know that people make claims, and claims can be false or true, and the opposite of truth is false. You know, some of you can tell when you are in an exam hall. You can say, are you, what is this so thing, true or false? This is true or false. And it's either you're choosing the truth, or you're saying this is true, or you're saying it is false. And when it comes to freedom fighting, and freedom fighting means that people are trying to get something good on ground. That means they want to be free, they want to do things right, they want to have the right environment, they want to have the right things happening around them, and they want to have things work good for them, and all of that. Freedom fighting, we've always seen lots of course, some of you who are historians, or who know about history, and some history have some information about history, can tell some information. You have some information about some histories, of events and activities and things that have happened in the world. You can tell stories of those some people who have been involved in freedom fighting. You can tell of nations that have been in freedom fighting. You can tell of all of this stuff and all of that. And then, of course, from this you can deduce, and at least you can tell why people succeeded and why people didn't succeed, and all of that. And if you look at the nation America, for instance, if you look at China, for instance, if you look at there's so many nations that have gotten their liberty, and and the way they approached it, the way they went about freedom fighting, you can tell how they did it, and you can tell how the result, you can tell. Some of us are evidence of the result. You can see it conspicuously all over the nations of the world today. You can see nations like China, you can see other nations that have been are free from colonial impression or colonial subjugation. You can tell how they approach their freedom fighting. You can tell. You can look at you know the stories. I don't want to go into history now and start analyzing history, but I want to just make you understand that there's always characteristics of everything that is either good or false, whether true or false. The false has characteristics, the truth has characteristics, God has characteristics, Satan has characteristics, human beings have characteristics, and these things spell out or define the operation of people, or the operation of the entity involved. In God himself, we can tell how God operates based on what is revealed to us, the modus of God, the operation of God, the method and the approach of God, based on the facts that he has laid out in scripture for us to understand. You can actually tell these are the characteristics of God. And of course, if you look at Satan, you can say these are the characteristics of Satan. God is pure, God is holy, God is supreme, God is sovereign. These are characteristics of God. God is forever, he lives forever, he lives in eternity. He's not limited by time, he's not restricted by circumstances. God is the beginning, the end, and the author, the finisher. These are characteristics. Yeah, so characteristics define operations. So if God is supreme, if God is sovereign, if God is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, then you know that he would always be everywhere. Because when you define him as omnipotent, it simply means that he can do anything. When you define him as omniscience, it simply means that he knows everything. If you define him as omnipresent, that means he is everywhere. So that these are characteristics, evidently of God. And when it comes to Satan, of course, the scripture calls him father of liars. And so when you say he's a liar, it simply means that everything about him cannot be true or real, or cannot define truth. And so these are the things. And when you look at humans, you can define people. When you look at somebody, you say, and you want to carry out an action based on a particular thing. For instance, someone who is who is a journalist, you expect them to behave in a way, you expect them to operate in a way, you expect them to be fair in what they do, you expect their reportage to be discreet and, of course, containing the factual evidences of truth and to give right information to the public. And when it comes to, a doctor, you expect them to carry out the ethics of their responsibilities and roles and functions. That means they have to do it, have to have this spirit of compassion. That means they have to have, this ability to carry out the profession in a professional manner and to give, the best, service to the clients or the customers or whatever, and of course, or the patient or whatever you call it. These are called characteristics. The characteristics help us understand the operation or what is involved in a particular thing. And that is why when it comes to freedom fighting, there are characteristics, there are behaviors that will help you identify who is true and who is false. Because when you say freedom, then you are talking about truth, because there's no division between and truth, because it is in truth that people can be free. So when the Bible says you shall know the truth, it simply means that freedom is an attribute of truth. Of freedom comes when is present or evident or truth, which means that if there is no freedom, then there is no presence of truth. That's what it means. Be characterized of. That's the question. If someone claims, because if you say that we shall know the truth and the truth will make you free, then it simply means that anybody who claims to be of truth in them. And so the first character, someone who is for freedom, is truth. And then when you look at the concept of truth, you're going to be looking at 1, personality; 2, behavior; 3, actions; and 4, discipline. First, let me go on personality. This you have to understand. Anyone who is a true freedom fighter must have the spirit of compassion. I want to begin to bring this and link them to the things we need to know so that you can, on your mind, begin to link the attitudes of people around you who are talking about freedom fighting and what they do and how they do it and all of that. Remember, we're talking about personality now. We're looking at personality. 1, you have to have this this spirit of truth in you, which means that you must be truthful as a freedom fighter. And of course, to be truthful, the only thing that makes anybody stay on the path of truth is when they have compassion towards other people. Because when you want to deal with people, you deal with them with the narrative of truth based on the fact that you are compassionate about their good and all of that. Thank you so much, Ego. Thank you so much. That is the reason MNK keep hammering on the word truth, because without it, nothing will be result oriented. Sorry. Yeah, that's it, of course, because truth is basic. Compassion person is always truthful. Yes. When people are compassionate, they always want to be truthful, because it is compassion that makes you want somebody else to get the truth, to see things the way they are. And it is compassion that makes you not mislead people. It is compassion that makes you want to see the good of other people. Now, I want to bring in the word compassion here, and I want to break it down to a layman's understanding where you will understand. Now, the word compassion, I would love Ego, if you can post it, because I want it to be written so that when people come again to watch this video, they can see, the meaning of the word compassion. If you can get us the dictionary meaning of the word compassion, so people can see it, and then we can link it to the activities that are going on right now and the things that are happening. Because compassion is critical of attitude. Compassion shows, it's evident. Compassion has a way of revealing or exposing somebody's idiosyncratic way and manner of behavior and actions and inactions. Compassion has a way of influencing how you behave and the things you do. For instance, let me give you this instance. Let me use scripture. Today is Sunday, so let me use scripture. Jesus was compassionate, and so he went about healing the sick. So if he was not compassionate, then he wouldn't have that mind to see that somebody else receives the healing for their flesh, for their bodies. he died and rose because he had compassion. So he wanted people to be free of sin, to be free from sin, and he had to carry out an action of compassion, which um, which which actually invades his comfort, which means that his comfort was compromised so that he would be able to free humanity and free mankind. So he compromised his comfort. He had to get away from the ability to stop any action against him. He just allowed himself to be spat on. He allowed himself to be stroked, to be beaten 49 times and more. He allowed himself to be whipped, with dangerous weapons his skin was torn like you are tearing a cloth or tearing something. The whips that were used on him tore his flesh to the point where his ribs, behind his back were showing, and he was bleeding. He was famished. He lost blood. He lost water. He carried the cross. In that pain, in that agony, he was given a crown of thorns. And he was spat on, he was abused, he was insulted, he was accused, he was blackmailed, he was lots of things. Because he had the spirit of compassion, he endured these things so that he would be able to free people. Now this gives us a very broad narrative of what compassion does in freedom fighting. Now, whenever you find anybody who says they are freedom fighters, or who said they are freedom fighter, anybody who tells you that they are freedom fighters, whenever you find somebody who says that they are freedom fighters, the first thing you have to observe about them is the spirit of compassion. From their actions, from their behavior, now there are so many things that I would have played, some videos, some audio. We have so many audios about criminality and all of that I wouldn't want to play them now, because I want to begin to focus and to get, and of course, when we talk about focus, doesn't mean that we are not going to expose the evils going around. In fact, focus is incomplete without revelation. Somebody needs to know this. And let me tell you, focus is incomplete without revelation, because it is in revelation that you receive the roadmap. It is in revelation that you receive the knowledge. It is in revelation that you receive the information needed to be focused and not be distracted. If you don't get focused, in fact, if you are not knowledgeable, you will not even identify what you should be focused on, because there will be so many information available that you will be confused. For instance, we have so many people who think that they are actually following people who are truly fighting for freedom for them, on their behalf or something. Now, if they had information, basic information about these people and their behaviors, their actions, and their secret operations, they would have distanced themselves. They would have distanced themselves from these kinds of people, and then they will now see clearly to what to focus on. But because they don't have information, they focus on the wrong things, and they get the wrong impression and the wrong actions and the wrong situation, and find themselves in those kinds of situations. Concern for the suffering of others, putting yourself in their position so they can be lifted. Now listen, concern for the suffering of others. Concern for the suffering of others. Now let me tell you some stuff that you need to know, because some of our people are just they just follow. They don't reason. They just follow. Now, concern for the suffering of others, putting yourself in their position so they can be lifted out of a bad condition or situation. Whenever your action brings pain on a people, whenever your strategy brings pain on a people, you are not compassionate. Now, let me tell you, let me break it down very simply and make it plain on BIAFRA project. Observe the people like Simon, people like the DOS members and all of that, who are claiming to be fighting for freedom, who are claiming to be fighting for freedom. Observe them. Observe their actions. Observe what they are doing. Observe how they do the things they do. You will discover that they lack the spirit of compassion. Now, can you imagine somebody who tells somebody, and please locate and call somebody and says, go and get the location of this person, get the location of this person. This person is saying some stuff on social media that you don't like. Go and look for the location, get where he's living, get his family name, get his details. Let me publish it online so that anybody who can access them can kill them. Or can you? I remember one time when the information came from Victor Zaganobi, and when he was telling me that Azuka called him, and Azuka was saying, Azuka told one of the things after of so many things, and of Azuka when he was on call with Azuka, when Azuka was asking him and saying that why did he resist her face being on the currency, that I said that he resisted her face being on the currency. And I never told her anything like that. I just told her that I told Victor, that's Pastor Victor, who is the chairman of the advisory board, that the faces of people who are here now cannot be on the currency. And when, when Mazuka came in, of course, to the meeting, when she came into to a meeting with us, I told her categorically the things I said, and I told her that your face cannot be on the currency. I still have the recordings of the meeting. I can make it available anytime. I'm just waiting for all these shenanigans. But anyways, let's go on. I'm just waiting for them to just, come and be stupid. And I said, your face cannot be on the currency. Simon's face cannot be on the currency, Biafra currency. My face cannot be on the Biafra currency. Nobody can bribe me with my face be on the currency and then allow nonsense to happen. I won't do that. And she called Victor because I mentioned Victor. So she called Victor Uzaganobi and asking him. Whereas I was talking about Pastor Victor, who is the chairman of the, of the advisory board. And I said, and she told Victor, why were you resisting? Why did you tell Kalichi that you don't want my face to be on the Biafra currency? And Victor was confused. I didn't even discuss anything like that with Victor. Why would I discuss with Victor? I said, why would people resist? I am telling you that I'm the one resisting. Not anybody. I don't hide. I won't tell you that somebody is, no, I don't do that. And somebody said, you don't want your face because I want to hide my own. No, I said, not Victor. And so along the line, she called somebody. In that same call, she made another call with another phone or something, and was asking the person, have you gotten the location of so person? I think Mirugo or something. Have you gotten the location where he is and all of that? Okay, that person said, yes, they've gotten the location. She said, that's good. Lots of information and evidences that we have where people are being threatened, including me, their lives being threatened, and including those who are claiming to be fighting for freedom, threatening, exposing, trying to open up and get the location. You can imagine when they sent somebody like Gaddafi to look for my location, when they wanted to set me up to go and so that they will be able to get where I am, and then they will be able to do what they want to do in their minds. These are evidences of lack of compassion. Nobody who is a true freedom fighter goes after the people who are speaking the truth or whom they claim to be fighting for. A true freedom fighter would go after the enemies, because the enemy is the reason why the people you are fighting free. A true freedom fighter will do that. Will go after those people they are claiming to be fighting for. And somebody like Simon still shadow that just because the guy is not loyal to him, no true freedom fighter will destroy a structure put by someone because Nnamdi is in trouble because he's in the hands of the enemies. And then somebody like Simon comes in and capitalizes, destroys the structure of ES camp. That is not the spirit of compassion. That is evident of evil. That is passion. That is evident of selfish desires, and that is evident of a plan, a selfish plan. No one will get to know who speeches of an individual. Of course, mind, compassion, words they say. No true freedom fighter will tell the people he claims to be fighting for that unless they become financial members contributing money, they don't have the right to call him and to call him on phone. No true freedom fighter will do that. I want to break it down to the normal things happening. No true freedom fighter will do what Chinasa Saweru is doing. Get some of the ESN men and then put them in their own camp and then use them against other people. No true freedom fighter. No true freedom fighter will do what Simon has done, is doing, and no true freedom fighter will do what Azuka is doing. No true freedom fighter will come on screen and when their master is in the hands of the enemies, give themselves titles, give themselves different categories of titles, and destroy the structure and create a particular militia and call them Liberation Army. No, now the ESN that was created by your master is supposed to be preserved until your master is out, and then you can now talk about whether to change name or whatever, because your master is the priority. So, but for your master, that you claim he is your master, you claim you're fighting for freedom under him. If you had come to say, I am doing my thing outside, I don't want to be part of Nnamdi Kanu or anything, that's a different thing. But when you are claiming to be a disciple and claiming to be in love with him, and then you come in, you disrupt, you scatter his program, you scatter his arrangement, and then you now create another camp for yourself, and then begin to use it as a means of destabilizing. No true freedom fighter would go to a military checkpoint without a plan, kill soldiers, and then knowing that there will always be a revenge by the military coming to that particular community where around that area where that roadblock, that checkpoint is, and come to kill people, kill the innocent civilians. No true freedom fighter with compassion would do that. You would always think about the effect of what you are doing on the people you claim you want to save. Thank you so much, Ego. Thank you. Let me check out some of your messages. It said, speeches, actions, activities of an individual. One will get to know who they are through speeches, through their speeches, through their actions, through their activities, and through of that individual. Good day, brother. Good explanation. Thank you so much for that. Total madness to the people they claim to be saving, and killing and maiming the same people, evil souls. All they are doing is business and enriching themselves to the detriment of the people. They are not fighting any enemy, only trying too hard to defend their business empire. They claim to be fighting for freedom and enrich themselves and make the people suffer. Now, let me tell you, thank you so much, my sister, for this. Compassion is a fruit, a very vital fruit that engrosses the soul of a true freedom fighter. No true freedom fighter would carry out any action without considering the effect on the people he is carrying out those actions on their behalf. For instance, let's just talk about the sit at home. Did you know, study the approach that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu used in sit at home. He always considered the effects on the people. So what he did, if he's going to carry out an enforcement, he makes sure that that action of creating an impression is done when the people are off the streets, so that it does not affect. Did you know also, of course you know, that he stopped meetings in Biafra land because he discovered that the people were being killed based on the fact that they were carrying flags. He stopped protests. He stopped meetings. He stopped them contributing. He was, in spite of the fact that people would always contribute from the zoo, he stopped it. In spite of the fact that that would bring more money, he stopped it because he was considering the safety of the people. Every true freedom fighter considers the safety, the lives, the benefit to the people first. I want to make this very clear. I'm just trying to break this thing down, and as I'm talking, I know inspiration is coming. Some things are coming into your mind, just like Sister Ego here. Lots of things are coming to her mind and she's typing them out. You can also type the ideas. I want you to reason. You see, we have been too stupid. We have to begin to reason. The first characteristic of every true freedom fighter, after the call, after you have told us, after you receive the call, the next thing that even stimulates the stimulus of that call. Let me tell you, the stimulus of every call is compassion. I'm talking about the stimulus for true call, not for false calls. Some people are called to be evil. Yes, because they have made themselves available. So they have been chosen by the evil ones to carry out evil. Every true freedom fighter has a stimulus: compassion. Compassion would never make you, without a plan, begin to announce some actions. For instance, let's look at Simon. He came to claim that anytime they bring their helicopters and all of that into Biafra land, he's going to shoot them down, whereas he doesn't have what it takes to do all of that. Now, that singular announcement will cause the Nigerian military to now bring their forces into the land and begin to attack the people. Because you know why? They might believe and also would believe or use it as an excuse to say that the people are harboring weapons within their communities. They will begin to invade communities. As simple as that, common sense. But yet, this guy keeps claiming that he has weapons to stop them. No true freedom fighter with compassion will manipulate people of their hard-earned resources. Now, you know that Biafrans who are living abroad are working hard to make their monies. You also know that Biafrans in Biafra land and or anywhere in the world or in other parts of the zoo are working hard to earn their money. Yet you manipulate them, telling them that these contributions they are going to make is for February 25th to stop that election. You manipulate them because you don't have compassion. You make them contribute towards stopping the elections because you don't have compassion. If you had compassion, you would make sure you would do whatever it takes. You would not come to tell them that you will stop the elections when you know you don't have the capability. You would do what it takes to make sure that that money you know that they suffered to get and contributed to you, you would use that money to stop the election as you promised. No matter what it will cost you, even if it will cost you your life. No true freedom fighter would do that kind of evil, collect the monies of the people, and then after the election, begin to distract them with so many information, as it is happening now. Today, again, we have seen from the criminal. Hope Uzodinma is not where to be found in Abuja. Biafra Liberation Army. I've been searching for him. They didn't see him. What has that information got to do with the people, if not to distract the people? People should reason. Stop this stupidity. Oh, my. I am talking about compassion today because this particular series would go a long way. This is part 1 of this. We're going to go on part 2, part 3, part 4. We might change the topics, but it will still be on the series because we are looking at the characteristics of false freedom fighters. And I will continue on this line until we exhaust it, and then we'll go into understanding tactics. Because you must understand that when it comes to tactics, there are tactics used by false individuals and there are tactics used by real individuals. The true freedom fighters and the false freedom fighters, they have their tactics. Every freedom fighter who is true is stimulated, is propelled by the spirit of compassion. By the spirit of compassion. Somebody says stop talking about Simon, he's doing a good job. You see, I wish, I don't really blame people, when they're written upside down, when they just reason. They just reason. They don't analyze things. They don't look at circumstances. They don't engage. By global standard, by scientific standard, it is said that we have used only 10% of our brains, our thinking ability, 10%. And using more anyways won't get us better. Anyways, it will cause a regression. In the fact, if you can use up to, even if you use up to 50%, it will only cause you to dwell on the past. And I was wondering, how would using up to 50% dwell on the past? Do you know that the capacity of the brain, the human brain, has a way that it can, there's something called in economics, those of you who, of course, economics is a compulsory subject in secondary school. So law of diminishing return, and then it accelerates, it goes up, and then later it begins to diminish. It's just like the human life. You grow up and it seems like, oh, he's become a young man. Oh, he's good. He's become a full-blown man. He has to marry, he has to get a job, he's through with school, he has everything. Before you know it, it's begins to diminish. Now it's beginning to get old. I remember as 10 years ago, I wasn't as old as I am seeing myself now. My pictures were different. Now I see myself older, and so there's this you get excited about that time that things are going very, very good. You don't think about what it is, or how it is like, or what it seemed like, or what it looks like what it will look like, or what it looks like if things begin to diminish. Human life comes, it's just like the flower, just comes and comes and comes and blossoms, and then suddenly begins to die. You see, one thing about life is that you must understand that life is not a perfect place, which means that if you will attribute your trust on anything, don't attribute it on humans or people. Only function by reasoning out what they do and their actions. The only way you are expected to deal with any person, human being, or anything that is created is to deal with them based on their actions. That is why scripture says, by their fruits we shall know them. How can somebody just come to me now, just come here and tell me someone is doing a good job? If I ask you now, how is this guy? Can you tell us? You said he's doing a good job. Can you tell us the good job? Please, we don't need to insult. I've discovered that it doesn't work. It doesn't pay. We don't need to insult one another, because what you want is our freedom. We don't need to argue. Just that you say Simon is doing. Listen, and then I will list all that he's not doing, that he said he's going to do. Now, ask yourself this question. He told you about a house he has in the USA. Ask yourself this question. Why is that narrative no more talked about? They showed you where they furnished the house, they furnished the apartment. He told you initially that he bought the whole house. Later, he said they have only seat 2 or seat 4 or so. Is it seat 4 or so? And then later, and seat 3 or so. Before we know it, it was seat 2 or so that we found. They said they have taken seat 2 and all of that, or something. But he said he has acquired the whole house. Now, they now showed you where they were carrying furniture into the place, and they now I hope the network is not cutting me off. I hope the network is not cutting me off. I hope you can hear me. And by July, they are going to make a broadcast. They're going to be showing themselves in that particular house. He also showed you in Finland that he has furnished a place. Yet, until this moment, he is still using his apartment to talk to you. He has not gone to the USA to launch that place. The people in USA, including Azuka and Co, who are in the US, have not even gone there to dance or to press their breast as they always do. That's the characteristics. And you are here telling me that he's doing a good job. Is it that you don't engage your brains, or you just emotionally attached to somebody that anything they do it is no, you don't care, but all you know is that you are emotionally attached. It's just like someone who is living with a man in the house, and every time the man carries a knife every day, I'll kill you in this house, I'll kill you in this house. But because you are emotionally attached, oh, I'm in love with him, I don't know what to do, I just have to stay. It's for better, for worse, I have to stay. And one day he used the knife to scratch your body. He said, one day I'll kill you, you're a very stupid woman, I'll do this. Or the man or the woman carries the knife and says, I'll kill you, one day I'm going. Every day he's threatening you. Any small argument, he picks up a knife, he beats you to stupor. In fact, one of the days he took one of the person iron and hit your head, you fainted, they took you to a hospital, they brought you back, you said, I love him, I will stay, it's for better, for worse. Are you stupid? I am not here to romance your ego or romance your stupidity. I'm here to tell you the truth. Anybody who have told you some stuff, no truth, I'm going to come to the side of personality, but I'm looking at compassion first, because I'm going to come to the side of personality. From the characteristics, your personality, I'm going to begin to explain some stuff you need to know, so that you will know that you're coming here to post that you don't talk about Simon, he's doing a great job, then you are being stupid. Because the only person you can always stand and say, yes, he is perfect, is God. Even your husband or your wife or your father can betray you. And you are here vouching for somebody who is in Finland, who has shown you every sign of evil, shown you every sign of all the negatives and all of that, and you're here vouching for. Someone who came and told you that Butuzo is a killer. Today he's working with Butuzo, and you are here. Is it that you don't use your brain? Or what is wrong with you people? Because this is the time for change, and that is why we have to lay these things out for you people to understand. Because if we continue like this, we're not going to get anywhere. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu even said, why is it that you people like holding, when it is lies, that is when you are grateful. You are grateful to people who are lying to you. You want to hold on to people who are lying to you. You always want to stay with the people lying to you. Why is it that you are like that? What is wrong? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was so confused. He was saying, why? What is the reason? Is it that you have been destined to be condemned and to be destroyed? Because it is only those who have been destined to be destroyed that would be given a reprobate mind. And that reprobacy makes you even believe in things that are not good for you, because you have to do everything to be destroyed. Go and read Romans chapter 1 verse 28. It said, because they refuse to retain God in their memory. That means because they refuse to retain truth, because God is truth. Sanctify them by the truth. Jesus said it in John 17:17. Sanctify them by the truth. Thy word is truth. So if God's word is truth, if God is truth, then it simply means that when he says that because they refuse to retain God in their mind, God there represents truth. Because they refuse to retain truth in their mind, he gave them over to a reprobate mind, a mind that the conscience is, a mind that is no more sensitive to truth, a mind that is no more sensitive to reality, a mind that sees danger and embrace it, to do things that are not appropriate. That is why today you talk about homosexuality everywhere. That's why you see nations will be sanctioning nations that refuse to uphold homosexuality. Imagine somebody who is morally just is being sanctioned by somebody who is not morally just, telling them that because you refuse to be immoral, I am sanctioning you. That's what is happening in the world. The corruption is beyond understanding. And I'm looking at you. Let me go to the message column so that I can see what is going on there. I think so many messages have come in, so let me read. All they do is business and enriching themselves to the detriment of the people. And that is what false freedom fighters do. But I'm going to come to that also. They are not fighting for freedom. Okay, I've read that before. All of them know what they are. All of them know what they are doing. They want MNK to remain there so their businesses can keep thriving. Of course, and I'm going to explain to the people what that means with time as I go on, as I progress this whole thing. Some people don't understand that the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become a takia. It has become a takia. You know what takia is? You present something to distract the people and to manipulate them and to use it as a means of giving them reason why you have to do something, to justify why you are doing what you're doing. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name now becomes the Takia. How? Now, when they want to carry out criminality, they tell you free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Just like when the terrorists want to kill their victims, they say Allah Akbar. When you bring Allah into it, people believe that it's from God. So if God has given that mandate, let it go on. I'm just saying this Anumanu says he says we are 4 people here. And so what are you doing here? Leave here now. Did I force you to be here? You are 4. And so if 4 people can listen to me, more people can listen. And you are here. You are here listening to somebody whom only 4 people are listening to. Are you not a fool? Anumanu. That's what your name is. Manu. That's what your name is. You're Anumanu, not Manu. Just came to tell me that we are 4 watching. You want to mock me? If I want to get viewership, I know what to do. I didn't come here to get. I didn't come for. I'm not an Zama freedom fighter. I'm not your career agitator like your Oga. I am here to speak the truth. That is what Chukwokike called me into this to do. And you can't reason along the line of what I'm talking about. You are looking at the number of people watching. Fool! Senseless people everywhere. Maybe that person is Simon or somebody, one of their people, put their names there and all of that. Daft people. When I was there, working in the, working with them, I'm just beginning to wonder, the media team. I begin to wonder how this will reason. I look at the advisory board. I begin to wonder how they reason. You bring them to the screen to discuss. The way they argue matters, you begin to wonder. The other day I brought in Gozera. I used to bring her. One day show the argument. Sometimes you ask a question, they don't understand. They are not vast in their thinking. You ask a question, they begin to answer. You ask A, they answer B because they don't understand the questions. They are not critical thinkers. What else? What do I expect from somebody like you, Anumanu, who came here to tell me the number of people watching? Because you think like them. Ego says all monies that people contributed would have gone a long way in developing our land. Thieves are busy enriching themselves. They don't even understand the tactics of development in freedom fighting. They are not tactical. That is why the accountability and transparency group now is coming tactically. Not all this noise. They go to toilet, they come to social media to post it so that they'll get traffic on their platforms. Hey, the hope is that is missing. They'll type it. Hey, we are going to buy one AK-47. They type it. Hey, tomorrow we are saying no more. They type it. Nonsense. Freedom fighters are not lousy, because from your louse, 2 things are evident. 1, you are trying to manipulate the people you are claiming to be fighting for freedom for, because you know that your tactics is not working, and because you know you don't even have what it takes. And so you just need to carry out activities and keep them engaged by talking and distractions. 2, you expose so many things to the enemies. These are 2 things involved. 2 things involved. But in accountability and transparency group, we have become tactical. We're adopting a strategy, God help us, to finish up the membership column portal of our website. Then we begin to get you involved. Community by community, local government by local government, as the zoo has divided it now. We'll use that format for now until we get our freedom. Each community will come together and discuss what kind of development do we need for our young people who are suffering, who are jobless, because it is in their joblessness that people like Simon will give them stipends and give them weapons to start misbehaving. That is why you can see people going to kill another person who is also a Biafran. A Biafran takes up AK-47, giving money by politician, or giving money to Chinas and Woru and their gang rogue team, or giving money by Simon's rogue team, and they go to kill somebody else. The people that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought together, they go to attack them, because now they are giving stipends. If they were doing well, why do you think they will collect stipend from anybody? But what they do is they want you to continue in penury and suffering so that they can easily use you for their selfish ends. That's what politicians do. That's what false freedom fighters do. So what we want to do now is strategic. We get the people in each local government to work and make money from them. Then when they have resources, they can eat, they are comfortable. When you talk about freedom, they will use their brains. They will think you can run well. That is strategic. That's strategic. If you keep doing the same thing always, then something is wrong with you, especially when you have done it for long, and yet you're not getting result. You're not getting result. That's why we have people like this with this small brain. They come here to tell me, two people are watching. The idiot is asking me, have I done myself? What I'm doing here is surpasses what you are doing. What I'm doing here is more strategy than what Simon has done, because he has collected all the monies. If you give me the resources that Simon has collected, you would have gotten Biafra. It's very simple. Mazin Amkami would have been out. If you give if Accountability and Transparency Group collects that kind of money, Accountability and Transparency Group collects that kind of money that Simon has collected, if Transparency Group collects that kind of money, by now, Mazen Amekano will be free. By now, would have gotten Biafra. Today, what do you see? Selfish purposes, selfish ends, selfish actions, selfish behaviors. You know, now let me read them further so that I can see the right messages that are here, so I can read them. I think I have to face the messages now. So, because when I say so, I give so many characteristics at once, people will not understand very well. You forget easily. So I'll beat on this compassion, and give instances so that letters based on the characteristics. It is revealed through the characteristics. So we will get that done, as fast as we can. Ego, thanks for dealing with that person. It's not worth talking about for me. You will handle that person there so that I can concentrate on what I'm teaching. He's asking, benefiting in what aspect? You see, they don't know anything. Look at in what aspect. You are a beneficiary of all the scam and meme going on if you're not defending evil. Okay. Okay. Please ignore them. Okay. Yes. Ego says I should ignore them. Of course I will. So let's keep going on using killing innocent people and all of that. Okay. Okay. So okay. I can see you handling them there. So let me go on. So now, compassion is that part of the emotion that triggers the right behavior or the right pattern of thinking or right pattern of planning so that it will favor other people. Every compassionate person thinks people first. Every compassionate freedom fighter, any true freedom fighter, is compassionate because the first thing he thinks is the implication of his actions on the people. Implication. Why would you just come up and tell the people that you want to free? You know they are suffering. You know how they hustle to make their monies. You know they are scattered all over the nations of the world because they are looking for better life or better lives, or they are looking to sort their poverty or to escape persecution, to escape danger, to escape death and all of that. You know what they are going through. You now give them promises I'm going to stop an election that would give you freedom. Because let me tell you something, if you don't know, just reason it very well. The election is very strategic to Biafra referendum and freedom. If that election had been stopped as expected and based on why the people contributed monies, not to, people didn't contribute money to get liaison offices. What is liaison offices, for God's sake? You have something, you already have an opportunity to free yourself. You allow that opportunity go, you now begin to build up some nonsense called lesson offices. You now begin to bring in ID card, you begin to bring in all this stuff. Would have been very easy if you had done the first thing, stop the election. Because if you had stopped the election, you would have seen how funds will come more to fund the defense of the land. But now, because you didn't stop the election and you need to still get more money, you need to now keep telling them lies and keep manipulating them with your juju and everything you do, by telling them about Biafra House here and they get excited, by telling them about referendum convention, they get excited. All these things are distractions. The main thing is stop the election. When you stop the election, the world will come. These people didn't vote, so what do? They need to be a president, so what do? They are not voting. None of them came out. You can't. The election is not complete, and they try to manipulate it again to set another date. You floor it. Nobody comes out to vote. That is, and you defend it. And when they bring their men out, you bring out your men who are defending the land. That is when you are working for the people. That is when you are keeping the promise you made to the people. Thank you so much, Ego, of course. That is when you truly have done what you collected resources from the people for. Compassion will make you acknowledge that these monies these people gave to you, it was not from convenience. It was sacrifice. It's blood money. Compassion will make you to do what you need to do according to what you said you're going to do with the monies to make sure that they get the freedom. Did you know why? Even when the people were talking about, when we were talking about accounts, giving accounts of the monies, when the monies were being contributed into Azuka's husband's account, and when the monies were being not being accounted for, and when Umada was splitted, and you know, and of course we don't need Umada in freedom fighting. Umada is a family meeting thing. That's why you see them misbehaving. You see them when they want to come online, all of them they will together. They will say, now they will make up. This one will put long nails, put on regalia, put all those nonsense they put up, the gele or whatever they put, and they put all of those stuff because they want to come and broadcast, because they want to show themselves, because they want to appear good, because they want to. Is this going on? It's like okay. I think this stuff got frozen. I don't know. I'm still, So now, all this stuff, all this jamboree, they make up, they do all of those stuff. Now, if you are truly compassionate, you would know that these people suffer to gather these monies. These monies they are given to you is blood money. I cannot spend it. I cannot give them a promise that I know they need to sacrifice to bring the monies together to come to get to bear, and then I don't give them what I promised. That alone is evident that you are wicked, that you are devilish, and that you are not compassionate. I can't imagine myself telling the people, bring money for this. In fact, once you bring the money, do you know how strategic this election was? It would cost us so great deal. It will make us get closer to referendum. It will make us defend our land. 3, it will make us not, you don't need to stress yourself to begin to talk about Biafra ID card, Biafra this, Biafra currency, and all of that. Once you stop the election, automatically people know that you don't need to begin to talk about liaison offices. You don't even need to spend money on that, because once you stop the election, that money will go into something better. That is why, because we don't have a strategy. That is why you see something like Umuada in freedom fighting. Umuada, what has Umuada got to do with freedom fighting? Mistakes that we have made. That is why we're talking about changing the tactics now, because we need, when they want to come for broadcast, they'll see them, they'll gather. You know, I relate with them. They'll lipstick, they'll put their nails, put their igele and everything. They'll come on screen and hey. Is that freedom fighting? Do you know what freedom fighting is? It's serious business. It's not show business. Because they understand it as show business. That is why they are creating a program called BIAFRA referendum, where they charge you gate fee, VIP, because they see it as a show. They see it as a show. They see it as a means. They have milked you and milked you and milked you, and now they need to create a brand that has a name of referendum that will excite you, because they know you are daft and you are an illiterate. When they mention referendum, you'll be excited. And all they need to do is that they need to add it referendum convention. You be excited. A referendum convention that does not have a connotation, that does not have that does not have that does not have a flavor of the United Nations. They don't even identify it. They don't even know about it. The EU, none of these organizations know about it. None of them know about it. You are just organizing an event, because Biafra project is now showbiz. Showbiz. You know what showbiz? That's show. When you hear of showbiz, that's show business. That's business of show. That is why you see those who are into show business. They buy expensive wares. They buy wristwatches. They want to look glamorous, because you know what? It is show, to show yourself, to show. It is show off. Because entertainment is about show business. BIZ, that's how to write business. Because you have to show us. That is why you see people like Omada will come out, show business. Today, what have they done? Simon will come and dance on screen. Azuka's and her husband will come and dance on screen and press their breasts. Show business, attract you, keep attracting you. Then you will now engage them, to give them more traffic on your platform. They get more traffic, they make more money from YouTube and other places. And then they get to milk you more, because from that excitement, they tell you, we're getting there. The next thing is a referendum convention. We want you to be part of it. You must contribute. You must show your seriousness. The monies realized will be used to get weapons. The monies collected for the initial weapons to stop the elections, where are they? You didn't ask that question. It's caricature, of course. It's not even turning. It's already. That is for the false people anyways. But for us who are in serious business, we know they can't distract us. And more people would understand this. Of course, tactics rolled out to keep hooking people. Today you tell them you have brought an ID card, tomorrow you tell them you have brought this, tomorrow you tell them you have done nonsense. The key thing is stop the election. Once you stop the election, other things will fall in place. Other things will fall in place. Are you people daft, or you don't reason? Do you know the kind of ideas like the accountability and transparency group? The ideas we have will secure more lives, will develop our land, and still give us our freedom. Which means these killings happening will not happen, because we think the people first. And that's why we are just hoping we get the portal, the membership portal ready on our website, www.easternsunrise.org. Once we get it ready, we will now tell you what to do, the next step to take, because it is step by step. And I want people who are always talking about action, who give us action. You are only going to make the same mistakes again, because you will still do the same thing that people have been doing and it's not working. Is to organize yourself and have a better action you need. No other action you need. So this action, we need action. We need action. Which action? once we structurally adjust, once we bring standard innovation to our strategy, we give us 1 year. That's what we're telling you. In 1 year, you will be surprised at what we achieved if we all together under the auspices of accountability and transparency here. If we now come together, the reason why things are slow is because the resources, we don't have the resources as much. So we do things little by little. I tell you, because the structure we have on ground will show you, will let you know that, because everything is transparent. The structure difficult for anybody to even say anything. Once you steal, it will show. And then you will be cut off at that moment. You'll be dealt with at that moment. But what has been there is people steal and steal. Nobody sees it. Everything is covered. Everything is covered. It is time we get it right. Compassion does not have a plan that destroys the people it wants to help. Compassion has a plan that safeguards the people it wants to help. And not only safeguard them, but the plan is consistently tilting towards result, positive result. Not today you tell the people we have an operation, tomorrow go and shoot, go and kill soldiers on one checkpoint. Tomorrow go to one police station and burn it down. Tomorrow go to the prison and burn it down. That's not plan. That's stupidity. Because the more you burn down, the more they will come back and kill the people in that community. That is what's happening. You tell them today when we're to the Biafra, they are giving the water in Biafra land. They will send more military. They will begin to pick our boys. Do you know how they pick our boys? Do you know the calls I get? How they are picking people on Owerri, on all the streets, major streets in communities also in Biafra land. You go to places like Nazi and all those places. You see how they are picking people. Go to other places in Anambra, go to other places. You see how they are picking our boys. Go to Ebonyi. Go see how they are picking young boys, killing them, harassing them. Because you give them an impression that you are conducting water. What is the impression of the water? It doesn't make sense. And you're coming online to tell the people what to tell them so that they can be excited and bring more money. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. How many times does Fulani come to tell you about their plans? Because you don't have a plan. But because you want to excite the people that you are manipulating, so you get more money. Compassion will not make you do anything that will hurt the people you're fighting for. So the first characteristic of any freedom fighter, the first characteristic is compassion. Compassion. I'm going to be stopping here today. Tomorrow, I'm going to come with the personality of a true freedom fighter, or the personality of a false freedom fighter. Because when I talk about the false, I'll give you narratives of the truth, the true. You have to know all these things. We have to be deep thinkers. We have to reason. The world has gone beyond people manipulating people, one person coming to dominate affairs and all of that. That is how empires are created. Every empire, the one that Alexander the Great created, the one that Nebuchadnezzar created, the one that what's the name? Belshazzar what's the name of this these guys, Darius and all of that created. All these empires, British Empire, are designed by autocrats, totalitarians. Look at Buckingham Palace controlling the British Empire. Forget about all these details of democracy they are talking about. Their main external operation is totalitarian. It is controlled from Buckingham Palace. Everything that had to do with slavery and controlling the African nations came from Buckingham Palace. It had nothing to do with the policies. The policies they apply in their land is different from the policies used for external conquest. So if the people that claim to be fighting for freedom for you are using the tactics of the colonial masters, then how then do you think you're going to get your freedom? How do you want to get your freedom? You can't ask them questions. In fact, they tell you that you must give money before they ask you ask them questions. They kill you when you talk. When you argue, when you criticize, they send people to kill you. They come out to dance. Their leader is our leader is in detention. Let me say their leader, because I'm talking to them now, but it's not their leader, because if he's their leader, they will not do that. He's in detention. Now, suddenly the same person who is telling you that he cannot listen to any information from the DSS dungeon is now coming to tell you. Suddenly, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now giving him direct messages. All this while, it is now when Aloy came out to make a message, send a letter, that now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now telling him that they shouldn't listen to the lawyers. Yet these same lawyers are meeting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu every day. He didn't chase them away, and yet he's coming to tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says he shouldn't listen. Biafrans shouldn't listen to the lawyers. Don't listen to the lawyers. He should continue what he's doing. He's doing a good work. Suddenly, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now talking to you. Because Aloy brought a letter. Don't you see cheap propaganda and cheap and evil propaganda? Not even cheap, evil propaganda. Don't you have brains? All this why you have not said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said this. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought message to you, all of that. Suddenly, because they brought a letter, suddenly now Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now telling you every time, giving you messages. Because what came was nuts. And when that letter came, you say you don't listen to somebody in the DSS dungeon. Now you are listening to the messages that you are, anything, as long as it sounds like what you want, it is from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for you, and it is good. Why are you deceiving? And the person keeps lying to you, and you can see the signs of the lies, yet you keep rejoicing. You keep jubilating. You keep following. Don't you have sense? Receive sense today if you don't have sense. I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you, guys. Please share this video, share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. Let people listen to this truth. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Very, very important that you subscribe. We are here to spread the gospel, and your subscription time, Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all the platforms you are on, you will discover that people will be getting the message. You can cut some parts that you want people to hear, send far and wide, let people listen to the broadcast. It is important. We are all ambassadors of truth, and if you're an ambassador of truth, do your job as an ambassador of truth. Do your job as an ambassador of truth. Nobody gives me money to, but I come here, I spend the resources to broadcast, to make researches, to check out what is happening. I spend resources every day. And you also can do the little you can by taking the video, sharing far, or cutting the part you want, downloading it, cutting the part you want, send it to people that they need to hear the information, and then encourage them to subscribe and to be part of this, and all of that. It is very, very important. Let them subscribe on this channel, so that anytime, and also click the notification button, so that anytime I'm coming on, we're coming on, you can get the notification and all of that. I want to welcome you. I want to tell you, please, if you want to join the accountability and transparency group, just go to www.easternsunrise.org. Send the message to us. Very soon the membership portal will be ready. Once that membership portal is ready, we are going to begin to have more information, and then we're going to be taking it step by step, leading you. But when you send the message now through the website, info@easternsunrise.org, we'll be able to process the information and then also get to talk with you. But hopefully the membership portal will be ready very soon. Hopefully, by God's grace, it will be done, and then we can move on from there, because we want to take you on another approach, working with you for this new approach. By the time you know the approach, an idea will come up into your mind, and then that idea, you can communicate it, and then we use it to better the plan. And then we now have a standard plan on how we're going to move, but we have a standard plan. And your ideas also will help to create innovation along the line of the plans, because it is important that every one of us must be part of this, and we can get results together. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you, Ego. Thank you for the messages. Of course, the e-frogs who are here, it is good. Take the message to your master to tell them that they will not always be there. Every empire that came with falsehood, anybody who comes with lies must. Your time will end. So it's not about you can't deceive the people. You can deceive the people, but you can deceive them always. All the time. You can't. No, it's not possible. The time for change, the time to begin to think wide and vast, the time to begin to do things very well and to reason properly and to carry out a new dimensional strategy for our freedom has come. Not the usual thing that has been killing our people, but new dimensional strategy. And this is the time, and hopefully God will help Mazen Namkan will be released also, and together we shall get into our freedom. I want to appreciate you guys for being part of this. Tomorrow, hopefully, tomorrow is the Mindset Show. I'll be definitely here, and then we're going to continue and do the work. You know, we have to continue the work and do the work of Him that has sent us while it is day, and this is the daytime for us to work. I want to thank you all. Thank you so much, Ego. Well done, dear brother. Truth is bitter to lots of people. We stand on it always for posterity's sake, and that's it. Everyone on Accountability and Transparency Group, please don't be a follow person. Follow the truth. Don't be an emotional follower. Follow the truth. Follow the truth. That is what will make you free. Mazen Namdekan said it. If we don't embrace truth and honesty, we shall not get Biafra in 1,000,000,000,000 years. And you can imagine what 1,000,000,000,000 years is. That means forever. We are not going to get it. It is important now that we work towards it and get it now, because this is the time to get it. And very, very importantly, also, you are a key person in this time to get this thing done. Don't see yourself as a watcher or, I'm just observing. See yourself as a key member of this. That is why you have to join forces with us. And you can also send a message to this number. When you send a message to the number, I'll receive the message and then I'll communicate it to the Accountability and Transparency Group. And the number is on the screen. The message to the number, and then to say you want to be part of the Accountability and Transparency Group. Whether if you have the resources, you want to support the work we're doing to see how we can get things done fast, or you want to come with your ideas, you have ideas, you want to come with the ideas to join forces with us to see how together we can work out our freedom, or you are somebody who is a strategist, you want to come in and say, okay, the ideas we have, this is how we're going to, let's strategize them and put them in perspective. You are gifted one way or the other. You have the monies to support the strategy. Come all out and let's do this thing together. This is our freedom. It is not for one person. It is for everybody. And that is why we're applying the strategy of which Biafra is known of, the spirit of strategic, approach. When it comes to communities and families, you see elders who sit to make decisions for the family. That is how it is. No one person goes to sit and make a decision and then impose it on other people. No, that is the strategy God has given it to us, nature. And if we will get our freedom, we must utilize and invest in that strategy, in that nature that we have, and patronize it, utilize it to the maximum, utilize it very well. In Biafra Freedom, we sit, we discuss. We have people who are going to come together, like the elders, like those who have the ideas, like those who have the resources. We discuss, this is how we're going to plan it, this is how we're going to go about it, and then we get results. That is the most important thing. Send a message to that number, send information. Transparency Group, make it grand. Make a decision. We don't want people who put their leg here and their leg here. You see some people, they say I belong to a standard structure is important. Freedom. Anything being done now will never get you freedom. I tell you, you will see it. You would only be manipulated and deceived. But when we come to see how freedom, not being local, not being malicious, talking anyhow, all this loquacious attitude, just come, you talk anyhow, you want for the right thing and to do to come together. I want to appreciate you guys. I want to say well done to you. I want to say thank you for watching. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to say enjoy the rest of the week. Be blessed this week. Seek God, pray, and praise in Namdekan. Mazen Namdekan will be freed soon, and we shall all celebrate. And we're also expecting his return and to meet the 100 men that God has given to him. And I know that you are part of those 100 men. So be prepared and get yourself strongly prepared for that. And we shall all get the result together. Thank you so much all. Today is the third day of September. That's the 3rd of September, and Sunday 3rd of September, and this is 4 p.m. Biafra time, and we began this program I think at 4 p.m. about 4 p.m. Biafra time, and we have used about 1 hour 19 minutes now. So this is 5:22 p.m. in Biafra land right now. Today is Sunday, the first day of the week, Sunday 9th or Sunday, September 2023, Sunday, 3rd of September 2023. So I want that to be stored so that we know that this is today's broadcast. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you. God bless you. Real good.